Hi, I'm here just to have a quick chat about children, young people, and anger. Right now, it's very obvious that many children and young people are struggling. They're finding all these rules around lockdown so frustrating. They need to be with their friends. They need social interaction. They need a sense of freedom. They're not having it. So many children and young people right now are expressing their anger and frustration, very rarely as a direct result of any communication around what they're missing, just more explosive and difficult to manage. And so some parents have got in touch saying, can you explain a little bit about what to do at that point? So I want to explain. I've just made you, because I'm not at the office, so I don't have my usual resources, I've made a traffic light. Hope you enjoy my traffic light. Couldn't find the one that I usually use. So here's a traffic light. The point of the traffic light is it's the best, most important, valuable skill that we can teach children, young people, and adults. It's all really around the word interoception, which Stephen Porges coined, and that's really a sense of getting to know our insides, getting to know what's going on our insides. When it comes to anger and frustration, what we're really looking for is we're looking to help a child begin to learn when they are, first of all, moving away from green onto the beginnings of orange. What does that feel like for them? Do they feel a bit rumbly? Sometimes if we're thinking about red being volcanic and eruptive and massive, like what does orange feel like? Is that feeling a bit bubbly? Is it feeling a little bit niggly? Are they feeling angsty? Are they just feeling like steam's beginning to kind of come out of their nostrils, but they're not yet at the place of total dysregulation? You see, we recognise that red is when children and young people are beginning really to impact other people around them. When they're at red, they're scaring other children. When they're at red, they could have disrupted some, I don't know, trashed some toys, hurt some buildings, done things that are really unhelpful and problematic to us all. Really, we want to all stay off red with anger. We don't want to get to that place where other people are hurt. And I'm thinking now of children who have got siblings who might be scared of some of their siblings who have got anger issues. I would not say that anyone has an anger management problem. I'd just say that there's a lot of children and young people who right now are frustrated. And they don't know very often what to do about it. And it can be the smallest thing that can just trigger them into this explosion. If we can help them learn to sense what's going on their inside, what does it feel like to be orange? Because if they recognize when they're orange, they can then learn what to do to de-escalate back to green, so they're less likely to be on orange, rumbling around, and then somebody says one word, or they can't get the biscuit that they want, or they don't get their snack, or somebody takes their toy, or you ask a teenager to come and join us for a meal, and suddenly it's like, wow, and it's the end of the world. They've hit red so fast. You see, when we can help them recognize they're orange, we can help them then with tools of de-escalating. So really the best thing we can do for all children, and I'm really keen on all children and young people can understand and learn this. If we can help them when they're feeling calm and when we know they're on green, if we can sit there and really tune in and don't be too intense, but equally don't be too silly, trying to get the tone right and the tuning right to the child so there's an emotional connection. If they feel safe enough with us, so, maybe we've had little ones, we might have had a squash or a hot chocolate and a cookie together, or, with older ones, we've just had a good laugh together and we've had a nice moment, or we've watched a film together. Make it natural so it can lead into a natural conversation where we can go, often it works when we say, goodness, sometimes when I feel like I'm just hit red, it's usually the silliest thing. But actually, I know that I was probably bubbling around orange for quite a bit that morning because, the postman made such a noise when the bell went and it woke the baby up. And then, and then I spilt that pasta. Do you remember that? And so actually I was bubbling on orange all morning. So then when your brother did that, of course I exploded. But what I should have done probably was After that, I probably should have taken 5 minutes to listen to some calm music, to reset my nervous system, to deep breathe, so that I could then not be so close to red. And when we can model that for our children, when we can explain it to them so it's normal that we're working on listening to our insides, we're learning to listen to when we actually feel dysregulated, when we feel bubbly, when we feel unsettled, when we feel angsty, what do we need to do? The best thing to do is to work with your child or young person on the things that can get them back into a place of regulation from being dysregulated. And I can do another little moment on this, but roughly speaking, the best thing to do is work with your child on anything that can help with their senses. So do a traffic light thing. Have a think about when they're green, what does that feel like to them? What does that feel like in their body? What does that feel like with emotions? What kind of settings cause them to be green? You know, for me personally right now, I had an email from a coffee company and it actually made me cry. And I realised how much I missed swinging by that coffee company. So I might have a little rumbling of, I miss my coffee. So that means that maybe I'm not always on green. When I have that moment, I'm heading towards orange. But if I can vocalize it and then make myself a nice coffee, I can go back down to green again. I mean, that's a ridiculous illustration, but I hope helps in some way that when we talk like that with the children, they begin to use the language, and we recognize that when children can use language to express their frustration, they begin to be emotionally literate. They're more able to ask for help. And so we talk about being green and what that feels like. Then we talk about being orange. What does that feel like in their body? Do they feel their heart beating faster? Do they feel their breathing becoming more shallow? Do they feel like they've got ants in their pants? Do they feel all restless? Do they feel like they've got... I remember one child said to me once, it's like my feet get hot for kicking. You know, what does it feel like physically? Then what does it feel like emotionally? Try and use that as an opportunity to introduce words like frustration, jealous, angry, annoyed. Really useful words. And then what does it feel like at red? And most children go, actually, I'm scared when I'm red. And I know other people are scared. So it's an ideal opportunity to say, well, that's why I want to help you. So we can stay on orange and below. So what kind of things can help at that point? Recognize you're on orange, go towards a safe place, whether it's a tent, whether it's under the bed if it's big enough, or whether it's a special chair or a special cushion, or whether it's a special hiding place, or even any special space where they've got a special cushion or a special seat or a special something. Or for teenagers, just go up to your room, and what can you do when you're in your room at that state, so you don't trash your room, so that you don't send awful messages to your mates, that you don't yell and break things. What can you do instead? And it's all down to the 5 senses. What can you smell? What can you listen to? What can you see? Is there some pictures, or for littler ones, books that can calm you down, help you feel regulated? Is there some special music or seashells or something that just calms your nervous system down immediately? What smell? Remember that our amygdala, which is our fear center, is right next to the center of our smell, so we can have a very quick impact. If we smell something comforting, we can become very quickly regulated. Then, of course, there's breathing exercises, and I'll do another little clip on some breathing exercises that we can teach them. But breathing exercises are so vital to get back from red to orange and orange to green, and relax again. So, top tip, help a child recognize their traffic light, begin to use language around it. Before they get any language, they're going to need a symbol of some kind. So if you know that a child often goes to red, and that's when it's a bit scary for everybody, give them something that's in every room of the house that they can quickly grab to go, I need help, I need help, I need help, I'm on red. And then it will stop so many things being destroyed, or it will stop people or themselves being hurt. If they're often going to orange, so they're scary a little bit, but not so much, then help them work out what that symbol is, whether it's a hand gesture, whether it's throwing a ball into something, whether it's touching the traffic light or waving it at you or throwing the traffic light in your lap, whatever it is, think of a symbol, because words are not there, because the prefrontal cortex has usually gone offline by this stage. I hope that helps bring some calm, and it could be the best thing they can ever learn in this season. I know for many of you it's tense and it's difficult, but if you can help them in the brief moments you get when they're feeling regulated and you're feeling emotionally connected, so you can do this learning very gently. Don't force it. Don't be cross. Don't be like, we've got to sort this out, because all of that just ruptures. It pushes the child away from us. They can't bear it. If our nervous system is relaxed when we teach them, so we're not teaching them, we're explaining and exploring and being curious together, then the child actually really wants to learn. The teenager really wants to learn. They don't like being so out of control. But it's crucial that when we're trying to help them, our nervous system is nice and regulated. Hope that helps.